Welcome back. It's Sports Tonight on Channels Television. Let's go back to Abuja studio. The chairman of the Sports Reform Committee, Godwin Kienka, is talking to us. Godwin, you were talking about the role the private sector can play. That's a very important role. I'm listening.
Yeah, so if we incentivize every stage from the grassroots to World Championship, then the private sector can come in because they know that if they produce an athlete and from an early age, from 8, 10, and they stay with him and mentor him, they get their reward as the athlete becomes, as that athlete is guided to become a world champion. Now, that is where that works. And now, besides that, we've also come up with formula that will help the private, business savvy, passionate people to drive the federations. By the way, the report is not going to be a secret document because most sports matters in Nigeria has been cultivated, and we are lucky that the minister has promised that the will is there, the environment is right, and the enabling environment is there. And then this report will be available to every stakeholder, everybody who cares, and it will be in the public domain so that superior argument can prevail. Okay, this sports in Nigeria has been vandalized for too long. And I think that the emergency that we are even talking about is almost 10 years late. So sports has to come out from the hands of the racketeers, the hands of spin doctors, noisemakers, to people who really care about using sports to engage and empower our youths, to make sure that these youths can use their talent to create wealth for themselves, their family, and the nation. I can tell you that if, like we said at the presentation, if 80% of the recommendations or the ideas in this report are implemented, we should be top 10 at any Olympics or at any major world championship. And sportsmen and women in all ramifications should be able to contribute, modestly speaking, about $5 billion to the domestic gross product of this nation. And that's where we are. And that's the kind of confidence we have. And you can see when you get the report, when we send you the report, from the reviews that we have had, we are happy that it was what the hard work we put in.
Godwin, I want to let you go, but I will not let you go until you assure me that with your findings, with your briefings to the Ministry of Sport, that this is not just another talk when we start seeing the implementation of all of these valuable words that you've just talked about.
Yes, I think we have no doubt that this report will be implemented because of 3 reasons. One is that we have, thank God for the cash crunch, the economic crunch, the recession, if we can put it in one word. So we are wiser now. It's knocked us into, it's knocked us into being wiser and being reasonable. 2, we have the right political, quote-unquote, environment because there's a change agenda. And I think if there's anything that is good, I can see that this government will go with it. 2, third, the minister was very emphatic yesterday that if this is the last thing he would do in his life, he will make sure that this report is implemented. And he started by declaring, as you noted, a state of emergency. Okay, so we have no doubt that it will be implemented. And more than that, it will be with you in the public domain. And if the ideas are superior, if anybody can come up with a better idea, we'll be glad to work with it. But I can assure you that when you get a hold of this report, it will the responsibility to ensure that it is implemented is on all of us. The onus is on all of us to put the pressure on the government, on the minister, on the presidency to make sure that we see sports for what it is. It is the second largest employer of labor in the world. And the amount of money out there for people who have talent is amazing. And we have had people who have suppressed talent in this country and been so untransparent that you don't even know how much the NOC, for instance, or the federations get from the international bodies. All is secret. Okay, but so we have put a lot of recommendations here that ensures that this thing has to be, everything about sports has to be in the public domain. The accounting system, the reports of the federations, the NOC, everything should be out there. Let's know how much each federation, the NOC, is having.
That's right.
So that everybody, sports is supposed to be right there on the field for everybody to see.
That's right. Thank you so much, Godwin Kienka, for speaking to us on the show tonight. Thank you. So that's the chairman of the Sports Reform Committee, Godwin Kienka, talking about the recommendations that his committee put together for the Ministry for Youth and Sports in Nigeria, talking about sports development in the country. Almost so much has been said.
Wow.
Hopefully this will not end with just talks.
That is just it, because if we are looking at 2020 Olympics, the journey should start now. We should begin now, because this is not the first time we've been hearing of submitting reports. This report should be implemented immediately. If we want to produce the next Joseph Schooling, if we want to produce the next Michael Phelps, if we want to produce the next Usain Bolt, the journey should start now.
That's right.
Athletes, everybody, federations should put in grassroots. You should scout for talent. Enough of all these going for people ready-made talent. Go to Ajegunle, go to all these places, you see raw talent. Get this talent, work on them, school them, work on them. Give them a plan for like 4 years plan. This will make them look ahead. I'm going to the Olympics in 2020, so they'll have a plan. So federations need to work. Everybody needs to put their hands on deck. I hope this report will not just be washed under the carpet.
I know, I totally agree with you. And Godwin Kienka also mentioned that it's about time we leave. He called it a service-oriented model where it's just about going for competition and take it to the developmental level. It should be coaches-led. It should be about athletes and getting the private sector involved. Well done, Godwin Kienka and the team that put together that report. Hopefully, we're hoping that every recommendation that they made for the good, for the better of sports in Nigeria will be implemented. I told you it's an action-packed tour of the sports. We've been to Abuja, we're back to Lagos. Fasten your seatbelt because we're going to the United States of America. We're still reviewing the 2016 Rio Olympics. I told you it didn't go so well for Team Nigeria, but there are a lot of lessons to be learned from that competition.